The Peel-Harvey Estuary really is the source of life for the Peel region, not only for the ecology but also for the community that are really drawn here by it. The estuary is performing all of these fantastic functions. It's filtering all of the flows that come down from the catchment, it's really regulating the environment, and it provides this really productive mixing zone for life across the freshwater to marine spectrum.
The estuary itself is part of the Peel-Yarlgaruk wetland system, so it's a Ramsar site, so it was recognised in 1990 as being a wetland of international significance. In a whole bunch of ways, the estuary is probably the most important natural asset that we have in the region.
For the Peel-Harvey Estuary to be an adaptive and a resilient estuary, we need to be quite creative in how we deal with the stresses that this system is facing. And one of the ways in which we can be quite resilient and adaptive is to look to replace habitat that the system has lost over time.
Here in the Peel region, Alcoa and the Nature Conservancy are working on a project to help restore the Peel-Harvey Estuary. It's a project that's really closely aligned with one of Alcoa Foundation's key areas of focus, which is the restoration and protection of biodiversity around the world.
Shellfish reefs, which are reefs made from either mussels or oysters or sometimes a mixture between the two, these are some really fantastic habitat that can help systems like the Peel-Harvey deal with these stresses that we're seeing in our estuaries.
Phase 1 of the project involved determining the best locations for shellfish reef restoration in the estuary, and this involved deploying mussels in baskets at over 30 sites throughout the estuary and measuring the survival, the growth and the body condition, and also using these devices to measure the gaping activity to determine whether or not the mussels are actually happy in those environments.
That first phase of our work really was concentrating on the science to understand where might be the best sites for shellfish reef restoration. We also wanted to understand from community what they thought was most important for managing the health of the estuary. And that work identified 4 priority projects, and of those projects, rebuilding shellfish reefs was one of them. So in this second phase of work, which we're just beginning, we've got 2 important components. And the first component is really about putting shellfish reefs in the water. And the second really important phase of this work is to really grow our community capacity for this type of restoration in the region.
Now in phase 2 of the project, with approximately $1 million of support from our foundation, we'll be proving up the concept with the installation of 2 large-scale mussel reefs in the estuary. In addition, we're going to be working with our local community to engage them in the project so that they can learn more about it and become connected to the work that we're doing.
It's really important that we're guided by what community want, what managers need, the right science, and also knowledge from traditional owners. It needs to be a joint effort.
When we walk on country, we walk on respectfully. When we fish on waters, we fish respectfully and we fish for the future. Aboriginal kids along the way have always learned to care for country. While they play on country, they learn to look after country. It's very important that we walk hand in hand with this project.
With the community engagement, once you have them engaged, you just don't want to lose them. So you can have this sort of generational continuity in the project where the kids that you're engaging with at the schools become adults and then they take it on as well.
I'm really keen to see how our students might be able to use this project to really learn things about the estuary that haven't come across before and take that forward into the future and maybe get careers out of it.
The Peel-Harvey project, where we're restoring shellfish reefs, is part of a much larger, bold initiative being led by the Nature Conservancy across Australia, where we're looking to restore shellfish reefs at 60 sites across the country by 2025.
Nature Conservancy have got a great track record for being able to do these sorts of restoration projects elsewhere, so it's really good for our region and for our estuary to have them involved in this project.
By working together with TNC and our other community partners on improving the health of the Peel-Harvey Estuary, Alcoa really aims to ensure that this value community resource is available for generations to come.
Shellfish reefs are actually our most endangered marine habitat across Australia. We've lost 90% of them over time, so restoring these habitats is really important to restoring the health and the resilience to our estuaries like the Peel-Harvey.